about that sudden wave of relief you feel when a dinner reservation gets canceled. While others might feel disappointed you feel a weight lift off your shoulders, that reaction doesn't mean you are antisocial. You are fiercely guarding your energy. If you are the type of person who views a canceled plan as a gift rather than a loss, you have found your people. Here at Quiet Pressure Sketchbook, today we are dissecting the mechanics of the homebody, personality type often labeled as dull, but which science identifies as highly efficient. Consider this perspective: for the extrovert, the world is a battery charger, and they plug in through conversation, activity, and bustle. But for those of us who lean toward solitude, social interaction is an energy tax. Even the most enjoyable gathering charges a toll on your reserves. Sanctuary is the only place to balance the ledger. This phenomenon is grounded in what psychologists refer to as optimal arousal theory. It is a biological set point. Some nervous systems crave high voltage input to feel alive, while others operate best on a low hum frequency. It isn't a defect in your character, it is the blueprint of your biology. However, the appeal of staying indoors goes beyond just introversion. The home represents the ultimate controlled variable. The outside world is a chaotic equation of traffic, unsolicited opinions, and unpredictable noises. Your living space, conversely, is a curated ecosystem. You dictate the temperature, the volume, and the atmosphere. For those with high sensitivity, this ability to regulate the environment isn't just a preference, it is a requirement for mental stability. Here is the fascinating upside: research suggests that those who embrace the quiet are often the ones with the deepest wells of creativity and strategic thinking. Innovation rarely happens in the middle of a shouting match. It happens in the silence. When you stay in, you aren't stagnating. You are giving your mind the canvas it needs to paint its best ideas. Whether that's in a reading nook or during a bout of insomnia, we live in a culture that measures a good life by how full your calendar is. We celebrate the busy influencers and the packed weekends, but perhaps a well-lived life looks more like a slow evening, comfortable meal, and absolute silence. That isn't tragic, that is deliberate. We must make a critical distinction, however. Is a version of staying home that stems from a heavier place, depression, trauma, or the anxiety that convinces you the world is too sharp to touch. Those cases, the home shifts from being a fortress to being a cell. You have to ask yourself the hard question: locking the door to savor the peace inside, or are you locking it because you fear what is outside? One is restoration, the other is avoidance. But for those who genuinely thrive within their own four walls, you aren't lacking anything, you are simply engaging with the world on your own terms. You find richness in the micro moments: the steam rising from a cup, the texture of a blanket, the shifting shadows of the afternoon, details that the rush of society ignores. If this resonates with you, make sure to subscribe to Quiet Pressure Sketchbook. Experts refer to this trait as a low stimulation preference. It means you don't require a circus to feel entertained, because your internal narrative is vivid enough. So if you can decline an invitation without a shred of remorse, or if a solitary weekend feels like a luxury rather than a sentence, you are functioning exactly as you should. You are built for depth rather than breadth, prioritizing tranquility over the performance of participation. Let me ask you, is your time at home a way to recharge, or is it a way to hide? The psychology behind your answer is deeper than you think, and the next video will explain exactly why your brain chooses the path of least resistance. Click right here. It might just change how you see yourself.